All right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKodash. Want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. Them is the high spirit we in Judah. And today I want to go into a lesson entitled the Abrahamic faith, man, or the Abrahamic sacrifice that we have to make. You know, something to that effect, man. All right? Because you have to know what you're coming into when you come into this truth, man. All right? You have to, like the scriptures goes into counting the cost. You have to count the cost. But at some point in our path in this truth, we're going to all have to make an Abrahamic sacrifice to show our obeisance to Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? So I'm just going to get right into it. This is Genesis 22:1. And it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which Yahweh had told him. Right? So look at the mindset of Abraham. He just went and did it, man. Hey, take note of that. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide here with the ass. And I and the lad, talking about his son Isaac, will go yonder and worship and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. So that was spiritual. When he said Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering, because Isaac was spiritually Yahweh Shai anyway. He was going to come back as Yahweh Shai. So there was a foreshadow of Yahweh, all right, sacrificing his son Yahweh Shai in a lot of days, man. Okay? All right, it says, Genesis 22:8 again. And Abraham said, My son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which Yahweh had told of him. And they came to the place which Yahweh had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. So Abraham did it without hesitation, or he did it without pondering. He just did it, man. Okay? To the point where the angel's like, whoa, Abraham, Abraham, you good. It was a test, you know? Hey, and that's the spirit that we got to pray to have, because we probably don't naturally have that. We won't offer our sons, man, you know? And rightfully so. I mean, the Most High didn't order us to do that, but it was a whole different mindset back then, man. But the point was, it was Abrahamic faith, man. All right? And the Most High will test you before salvation. We have to earn that crown, man. We are going to have to earn that crown through much tribulation shall we inherit the kingdom. But in every brother's situation, he's going to have to display Abrahamic faith in his own personal way. Whether, you know, you and your wife have to go separate ways and she take the little ones, all right? You have to walk out to a job. That's a small example of Abrahamic faith. The scriptures not say we have these things for our learning. These things happen and were recorded of our forefathers for our learning. Okay? So coming into the near future, if we haven't done so already, we're all gonna have to make an Abrahamic sacrifice, man. All right, before we get the kingdom, man. It's part of the initiation of being Kingsman. Watch the movie Kingsman, you know what I'm talking about. All right? So the Most High is all about the show, you know, showing your faith, you know? We could talk all day, but the Most High is all about showing your faith, man. And pray to Yahweh Shema Shai that you don't resist his will when he moves things around in your life, all right? Don't resist his will when it's time to make those moves, man. Okay? James 2:17. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone. All right? Yet man may say, thou hast faith and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee thy faith by my works. Okay? So part of the works, all right, is showing, all right, your obeisance, all right, and your faith to Yahweh Shema Shai by obeying the commandments, all right? Whatever Yahweh Shema Shai tells you to do, you're showing your faith by that, man. Okay? And Abraham was a perfect example of that, man. Our forefather Abraham. Here's another example. Get that in Hebrews real quick. All right? We're all going to have to make an Abrahamic sacrifice in this truth, man. All right? Hebrews 11:24. And it's going to hurt. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Hey, man, he forsook it. All right? You know how pleasing that is for Yahweh Shema Shai? All right? To give you the vision of the kingdom, and like it's nothing, you forsake everything you had. All right? By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. See, it's all about the vision, man. If we had a vision in our mind, it's easier to forsake this carnality, man. All right? If you have to forsake something, the Most High gave it to you to ultimately forsake it, because that was part of your story in this script, man. All right? Matthew 10 and Matthew 10:37. Okay? Abrahamic faith, Abrahamic sacrifice, man. That's part of the initiation before we get the kingdom, man. Abba willing. Okay? Matthew 10. All right? See, now we're facing reality checks. You know, there's mandates on the job. See, first we was in the truth. You know, you could have been watching videos and whatever. But, you know, we knew it was coming. But now it's right in our face. Now we're forced to move on faith, man. The Most High is forcing our hand, man. All right? Matthew 10:37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it. A lot of people want to find their life by taking the vaccine and ultimately the MOTB, but they're going to be the ones that lose their life, man. It's all about your faith, man. All right? He that findeth his life shall lose it. Well, let me go back to the title. Matthew 10:38. He that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it. He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. He that receiveth you receiveth me. And he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. Okay? And that's pretty much the point, man. Okay? But there's a reward. Let me get that in Hebrews. Hebrews 10:31. Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. But call to remembrance the former days in which after you were illuminated, you endured a great fight of afflictions. Probably when we woke up to this truth, we started to catch hell, because that was part of the purging process, all right, of being made like unto Yahweh Shema Shai. All right? And the Most High is very jealous, man. All right? The Most High is very careful to see if you love anything more than him. And he will test you on that, man. All right? Verse 33. Partly while you were made a gazing stock by both reproaches and afflictions, and partly while you became companions of them that were so used. For you had compassion of me and my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that you have in heaven a better and an enduring substance. You see that pattern? We came into this knowledge, and in turn we took spoiling of our goods. What do those goods consist of? It could have been a career. It could have been, you know, you woke up to the truth, then you was going counterclockwise to your woman, and she left you. All right, that's a spoiling of your goods, man. But we just said F it and walk forward, man. Is because we know that there's something beyond, all right, the present, man. And now there's something that's beyond has been revealed to us. So it was nothing for us to take a spoiling of our goods, man, no matter what it is. And the Most High test you, all right? Because before we come into the time of Jacob's trouble, all right, you gotta drop your baggage, man. If you're on a plane and the plane about to crash, or the boat is about to sink, people drop stuff out the plane or the boat to keep it afloat. So some of the stuff you drop may actually be people you love, man. All right, so you can survive. All right. So with that, I'm just gonna close it out on Matthew. There's a reward for it. The Most High's not imbalanced or just a madman. There's a reward for that, man. All right. Matthew 19:29, it says, "And everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life." Shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life, man. All right. So that's the end goal, man. We're close to that point. So when you think about the things you have to do, like possibly lose your job because of the mandate or possibly lose your family, just know that that's a marker that the kingdom is right ahead of us, man. If we're at the point now where we got to start dropping our luggage, our spiritual luggage, or close the doors like Elder Ariad Nasai said, all right, that means that the kingdom is right behind that, man. It's prophecy. But hey, with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Abashai, by Hashem Chakudash, double underscore our elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of David the elect, Abba Abba, Kom Yashala, Shalom.